Put what happened in the orchard out of your mind.
Perhaps you should just live in peace from now on.
You don't have to fight anymore.
Yes. You should focus on your own happiness.
That's going to involve a lot of finding Jude.
What's happened to me? Peace. Were those two at peace? Why do I still care? I don't need to fight anymore. I couldn't protect them.
Oh, apparently we rested. Alright, so that is one of 3 subquests finished during this section. So the next subquest is at Elude Sea Haven, which is where we need to go for the main story anyways, it sounds like. Alright. Makes sense to me. Oh, it took me straight up here to rest. Interesting. Wait. Milam in jail. Well, the closest sea haven, which I assume is the Elude one, is out this way. Item shop. It's still so interesting that they bothered to put shops in this section. I guess in case you were having a really... Sorry, something in my throat. I guess if you were having a really hard time as Milla during this bit, they were like, we have to let you be able to buy items and food and etc. Mostly items. Yeah, I could see where, like, especially after we just did the Gillen boss fight, which reminds me, I think I'm low on life bottles and all. I should go ahead and buy up on those. It actually makes a lot of sense now, and I'm glad they did it. Because, like, you come out of the Gillen boss fight, maybe you used up a lot of your gels in the Gillen boss fight, and then you're forced into combat with just Milla. Not being able to buy anything would be a nightmare. Someone leading a group of women? I haven't seen them, but you certainly have me intrigued. Did something happen? What? You thought that the village's humans had been killed? Ha, well, I guess when your body isn't acclimated yet, everyone looks like a human and it's confusing. Oh, so you guys look like humans because Milla is recently back in her spirit form? I guess that's a decent way to explain reusing the models.
Town. They have a festival for me every year. That's why I always make their fruit so sweet.
That's so nice of you, Nelm. How incredibly rude. 2 men just bumped into me and didn't apologize. It looked like they were going south to the Sea Haven. Maybe I'll chase them down and give them a piece of my mind. Okay. Elude Trail. So we need to go to Elude Sea Haven. And apparently we're going to... I can't tell with the way Lone Wolf has written this part of the spreadsheet. It says from Hamil, head east and go back to where Elude Sea Haven is. I don't know why it says go back when this is my first time in this spirit realm going to Elude Sea Haven. It's a little misleading, but I assume he just meant to say head east to Elude Sea Haven. It says wander around until you see a scene with 2 men and a woman, then head to the Elude Inn. I can't tell if I'm supposed to be getting a sub-event cutscene while I'm still on Elude Trail.
We could fly there in a heartbeat if we just tethered up.
If you're in that much of a hurry, Sylph, feel free to go ahead without us.
Yeah, Sylph, mind your business. But anyways, I can't tell if this subquest is I'm supposed to get a scene right before I get back to Elude Trail or Elude Sea Haven, or if I'm supposed to get it in Elude Sea Haven. Give. I said give. Please give. We're at 109 jet black feathers. I think that means we're almost at 300 total, which is really good.
You're getting a bit too heated up, Undine. You need to cool down.
You're one to talk.
Haha, he's fire. Gabby? I do like the 4 spirits just chatting during this section. It's actually really cool. I'm liking this a lot thus far. Seeing the spirit realm and all from Milla's perspective and seeing what she's had to go through. I did not realize that Milla would, like, lose her sense of self and all that during this section of the game. I knew that this section of the game would involve... I didn't even read what that did. I should have. It said Miracle Bangle. It probably, like, has a chance to res you. I think I saw a percentage in there. But, I knew that this section would probably involve the 4 because I remember a cutscene from Jude's story where Milla mentions something about, or no, it's not Milla who mentions it. It's a character that we haven't met yet in the game yet. But there's a character who mentions that, like, Milla must have had help from the Four during this section, so I knew the Four would be involved somehow, but I didn't realize, like, all of this stuff happened with Milla, where, like, she loses her sense of self, and the Four are like, oh no, we screwed up, etc. It's very interesting. I still love Milla's hair change to being more like Muse's. It just really drives home the whole, like, you know, because they're spirits, they're not, like, blood relatives, but they are sisters, as the game presents them. Like, when Milla is in this spirit form instead of her human form, she straight up just has Muse's hairstyle. Or not style, but hair color. Muse's hair is a lot longer. Oh, Lottie Sea Haven was down there. Well, wait a minute. Let's look around here for chests and stuff, and also I might get a cutscene for the sub-event. I still can't tell if this sub-event wants me to find this man and woman on a Lottie Trail or in the Sea Haven. I think it wants me to find them in the Sea Haven and then go to the inn, but I just want to be careful because I don't want to miss them. We have 3 missable sub-quests during the spirit section, it looks like, so I do not want to miss any of them because I hate missing sub-quests, and more than that, I've never seen them because I've never played Milla's side. So I want to experience all that I can of it. Dingy puffball. Also, we're getting a lot of high-quality materials. That's going to help a lot with upgrading the weapon armor and maybe even the, like, 4 Bizarre Clumps there is amazing. It's going to really help with upgrading the weapon armor and maybe even the accessory shop a bit more going into the final chapter. Going into the end of the playthrough in general. Give. Veggie sticks. Gabby? You know what I should do right now, actually, is I should eat some dishes that just, like, give me stat ups. Yeah, 25% to all attacks and defenses for 8 battles. Let's have that. In case we get into any more forced fights as Milla, I don't care about stat ups and all that. As we get to the end of the game, I should also pick up some dishes that are just big stat buffs, because, like, the final boss doesn't give you experience or gold, I'm pretty sure. There's a post-game dungeon with a final boss at the end of the post-game dungeon, and I think that one does give you experience and gold, but also that'll be... the post-game dungeon boss will be the very last thing we do in the playthrough, because you can end on it. Like, you don't have to defeat it to unlock anything else, you can do everything else first. So at that point, I wouldn't really care about getting experience or gold. I would just want, like, the best stat buff possible for that final boss. So now that we're getting to Chapter 4 of the game, I should go out of my way to pick up some high-quality stat dishes. Whatever the best ones I can afford are. Getting a lot of jet black feathers. I think I'm starting to remember now. I'm pretty sure when you get to Chapter 4, the game starts to throw a lot more jet black feathers at you. So we might actually not have to worry about getting the 459 we need in the post-game. For that one sub-quest, it might just actually work itself out. Alright, Eladi Sea Haven. So there should be... oh, it might be right here.
What are you staring at? Get lost! It can't be! The 4 great spirits?
What mischief are you two up to?
We were,
Hey, hold it!
Pardon us, we have, business to attend to. Right, business. Let's go.
That was 2 men and a woman, and the woman ran towards the inn, which is where I need to go for next for the subquest. So I assume that was the subquest sub-event that I wanted. Hello? Is that woman in here? Hello.
Have you seen those men before?
A few times. I think they're tailing after me.
Do you know why?
Yes, I overheard something I probably shouldn't have.
Please, continue.
Okay, you are the four great spirits after all. I overheard that some woman committed the sin of false reincarnation. Now people are on the hunt for her.
Sin, huh?
Do you have any clue of this person's whereabouts?
I don't know. I didn't hear much else. But they clearly said they have to find her and kill her. Eventually, I found out that they had started to suspect us, so I've been in hiding.
I see.
Thank you for sharing your tale. You have been most helpful. Now see to your safety.
So they're probably talking about Milla doing a false reincarnation right now because of the Four's intervention, is what I'm guessing. Hey, I gotta tell you something. I totally saw one of those dream things. I bet that if you stay at this inn, you can see a dream too. It's an incredible experience. Okay, but I do have to stay at the inn for the sub-quest as well. The spirits have to pay money to rest at inns? The spirit world is... I see now why they didn't cover the spirit realm, like, at all in Jude's story. It's really confusing. Like... Ooh.
Yes?
Can I come too? With you?
Who are you? I know you. Why can't I remember?
It's the love of your life.
My name's... And you?
I'm Maxwell. Yes, that's right. I'm Milla Maxwell. And I chose to die. But why? I can't remember. That boy. Who was he to me?
Very intriguing. Aside from the laws of the spirit world seeming like kind of nonsense, I'm loving this, by the way. This is all very interesting. Okay, so for the next sub-quest, use the world map to go back to the western area where you started, or just keep going west. Follow the path until you reach Nia Kara. Head to the inn for a scene in Nia Kara. You must go to the inn immediately because if you wander, you'll trigger the story. Okay, so for the sub-event, we need to go to Nia Kara, and then we need to immediately go to Nia Kara's inn, like without just wandering around. Lone Wolf has that listed in bold, is why I read ahead. Normally, when I'm looking at the sub-quest sheet, I just read, like, the first sentence that I need to know what I need to do to activate the sub-quest, and then play it from ear, or play it by ear from there. But when sometimes Lone Wolf puts stuff in bold or whatnot to be like, hey, make sure you read the whole thing or it's gonna get screwed up. So that one I read all the way through it, just to make sure we wouldn't miss something. 1 gold!
Don't you think we ought to come clean with her? It might not matter with her memory gone, but still.
Self's making sense.
Very well. We shall confess what we did to you. Once you were a woman named Milla. You lived with us in a place called Nia Kara.
You died in the end. Do you remember that much? We must tell you what happened afterward. We tried to retrieve your soul, before it could be purified and reincarnated.
We thought you'd come back with all your same old memories.
But we messed up. Your memories went bye-bye. Oops.
That is the way of things.
Okay, so it's exactly what I thought was going on. So do I go to Nia Kara right now? I wasn't sure. It still just says go wherever you want. But, like, we've hit a dead end, right? Like, I can't go any further than this because we can't, like, take the ship anywhere. I can fast travel back to Hamil or back to Kijara Sea Falls. Take me back to Hamil and see if we get any cutscenes. I'm gonna hit save right here, by the way. There's a chance that I accidentally trigger further in the story than I mean to and miss this other missable sub-event. This other sub-event, all it says we need to do is get to Nia Kara, go into the inn for a scene. So, it's really easy to trigger, at least. I'm guessing now that the 4 have told me, like, what made Milla, like, her false reincarnation and all. Death comes to humans and spirits alike, however, death isn't the end. The dead are reborn as a new soul. Okay, so I never realized that the Tales of Xillia universe actually tackles...
I suppose I should admit that it was me who came up with this whole plan. I just wanted to save you. I couldn't bear to let you go.
Shout out to my boy Gnome coming in clutch. What a gamer. But, I didn't think Xillia ever, like, took on the afterlife stuff, so apparently in the Tales of Xillia universe, it's just reincarnation is a thing. After you die, you get purified and reincarnated. It's only been 20 years since Muse was born. There must be some special reason she was brought into this world.
Muse has always been a good girl. I'm sure she's just doing her best.
I never liked her, and now, seeing Milla like this, I like her even less.
Sylph, definitely my least favorite of the Great Four Spirits, now that they don't get, like, any personality in Jude's story at all. But they clearly do in Milla's story, at least during this section. Sylph, definitely least favorite. Also, Muse is great. Shut your mouth, Sylph. Did you know that when a person has just been reincarnated, they unconsciously construct their view of the spirit realm from their old memories? Okay, so that's why the spirit realm looks like this for Milla, because we're playing from Milla's perspective. I'm glad that they have some, like, strong explanation for it if you just talk to some NPCs, because it was really confusing out the gate. Lord Maxwell possesses the power to make copies of himself known as specters. It allows him to better manage the balance of the world.
Think of the specter as being Maxwell's shadow. It's the force that maintains balance in the world. You didn't even remember that, did you? Nah, that's fine. Don't thank me for explaining it or anything.
Sylph, shut up. Have you heard of the temporal crossroads? I don't know anything about it myself, but my grandma was saying something about it. If you want to talk to grandma, she's probably in the village somewhere. I know what the temporal crossroads are because of Jude's story. This is one of the very few times, if you've watched my content for a while, you know that I, like, almost never care about just talking to random NPCs. Like, when I'm playing JRPGs especially, occasionally I'll talk to an NPC or two as I'm walking by them, but for the most part, I just ignore them because I don't really care all that much. But, like, this just goes to show how much I love Xillia. This is, like, the first, like, new Xillia content I've had since I finished Xillia 2, really. So I'm just like, oh man, I want to talk to pretty much all of them. Maybe not all of them, but I want to talk to a ton of the NPCs, see what the Four say, see what they say about the spirit realm. Because I know nothing of it. The cycle of souls is the pulse of this world. It would be an act of madness to interfere with that. As far as I know, there are only 6 spirits who can cross between the spirit and human realms. Lord Maxwell, the 4 great spirits, and Muse is number 6. I don't know if they ever specifically call Muse a great spirit, but I was always under the assumption that Muse was the great spirit of space. But maybe I just made that up. You aren't trying to go to the Hollowmont, are you? You mustn't do that if you make the Lord of Spirits angry.
Are you planning to go to the Hollowmont? Even without your memories, you're doing just what Milla would have done.
Okay, so the game doesn't really give you directioning, but the more you talk to NPCs, they mention where you should be going, and the 4 comment on it. That's, with how small this section appears to be of the game, because it just seems to be like Elude, Hamil, Kijara, and Nia Kara, I'm actually kind of okay with that. I normally don't like progression being locked behind talk to random NPCs, but this is a pretty good way of doing it, and also the game does not do this for like 95% of the game. I think this is the only time the game has done something like this, that it's like, hey, do you want to know where to go? Talk to NPCs. And in this section of the game, it makes a lot of sense. And there aren't that many NPCs. There's like Elude, Sea Haven, and Hamil, and they both have like maybe 10 NPCs. Like Elude did not have 10. Elude had like 6 maybe. I've heard that Lord Maxwell made a secret portal at the summit of the Holomont. It leads to a path known as the Temporal Crossroads. You must have been the grandma. Okay. So during Jude's story right now, because I've already played it on the channel, I'll say it. Jude's end right now, they are also going to the Holomont to try to get to the spiritual crossroads. So it makes sense that the game is pointing us in that direction from Milla's side as well.